So what's up, guys? I'm gonna start the video by apologizing for not dropping a video yesterday. The footage I filmed ended up looking a little too rushed and I wasn't happy with the video, so we're just gonna scrap it. But I do want to get you caught up for today. So I started the day off by stripping down the SR20 right here. So we're gonna flash back to that footage right now. Everything correctly, this should just come off. Oh, nice. I did do it correctly. There it is, the stock intake manifold. This one is so fresh. The cleanliness of this motor still baffles me. I mean, look at the intake ports on my head. Stupid clean. Not like it's been running lean type of clean, but just, I would love to know how many miles are on this engine. Look at that. This whole water pipe section, we could simplify it just a little bit. Now, if you can see the heater core outlets on the Z, there's just two right here on this side. On Silvia's, I know they're over here, so the pipes actually would wrap around back and then go in over here. But since we don't need this anymore, we could essentially cut it right here, and our two outlets will be basically right next to each other. So if it sucks because this won't have a nice bevel edge like that, but I don't think it'll leak. I think we'll be fine. So I'm just gonna cut it right here. And then this water line right here that goes to the turbo, I'm gonna reroute this later on. I'll show you guys how to do that, to the water neck, so we don't have it going too behind the head. And on top of that, there's one more thing we could do, and that is a coolant bypass that goes through the throttle body. So there's two coolant lines that goes through the throttle body, one here and one here. And I believe it's meant to help on cold starts or something like that. I don't really know, but you could delete it. It doesn't really affect the car at all. You could pull the coolant line and plug it right here and right up in here. Or you could do a quick, easy option, and that is to remove this top one. Take the bottom one, and you can see we can mock it up right here. So we're gonna cut this hose and put it right on top of that one. Easy as that. So now this is rerouted through and you won't see this anymore, and we can basically cut the knobs off the throttle body and clean that up too. So when it comes to like most stock journal bearing turbos, there's two oil lines and there's two coolant lines that go to it. One's a high pressure oil and then one's a low pressure oil line. The high pressure oil line right here blasts oil into the turbo, and then basically the low pressure side, it kind of just drips back into the oil pan. So since I actually ordered aftermarket lines for the turbo, so what we're gonna do is just undo the lines from the block itself. So we got the coolant line and the oil line both disconnected from the block, got the drain undone from the oil, and then we got the last water outlet or inlet, whatever the heck this is, undone. So basically, gonna unbolt the manifold and take it off all as one. Actually pretty badass that the motor came with an OEM 7-layer gasket on it. Now these things are kind of hard to find, and they're probably one of the best gaskets you can put on this car. So I don't know if someone did this prior or if this came factory like that, but that's pretty sweet. See how the exhaust valves are. She's a little toasty. She's a little toasty, but not that bad. That was easy. All right, so I have my brackets for my power steering, my alternator all taken apart, and my water necks, everything's all capped off with bolts, just so powder coat won't get into threads or anything. So we'll be all set on that. Now the last thing I want to get coated is the OEM oil separator, which is this piece right here. This is probably one of the best things on your SR, though they are pretty ugly. This is basically like an OEM catch can for your oil. This collects so much blow by, it's impressive. Tuck, you are the cutest freaking thing in the world. You could pet Tuck for 5 minutes for $5. Make bank.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
Should pay for pictures too.
Tucker is great for parties. Book your RSVP now.
So the SR is fully stripped, so I have all my accessory brackets removed, all taken apart. All the threads are now capped, so we can send those off and get those powder coated. I think it'd be a great touch to the engine, really clean it up, and I'll never have to worry about those again because powder coat is so strong. And then, after running around like crazy yesterday, I managed to get myself a new turbo, which is fantastic. I'm really, really happy. A nice OEM Plus upgrade, so I'm gonna show you that experience right now. Yeah, so we're gonna go down to, we got like a 30-minute driver meeting up with you to go pick up the new turbo. Hopefully it's not a piece of crap, you just never know, and hopefully it's the right thing because people are kind of stupid sometimes.
It does happen.
It does happen quite often, so hopefully we're not gonna drive out there for nothing. I'm pretty excited about it, so let's hit the road. So this is the awkward portion of ordering parts off of line, and that is waiting in a parking lot trying to figure out who the hell the person is. So we'll wait, we'll ask what kind of car he's in, awkwardly shake hands.
What kind of shoe size he has?
Yeah, it's just how it works.
Maybe it's this guy over here.
Maybe it's this dude right here.
Maybe it's this guy.
It's always really awkward when it ends up being the dude next to you.
Maybe he's in that bush.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Wasn't the guy next to us, I'll tell you that one. Switching them, but I think it works. Yeah, let's head back.
Who needs a pick?
I ended up buying a T28. I think it's off an S14. I really couldn't confirm it, but it looks like it'll fit. If not, I'll make it fit. The shaft plate was super minimal. It's actually like in really good condition, which like I don't know if I'm concerned about, like if it's fake or something, but it looks pretty real to me. This dude actually bought it for a KAT setup for like, you know, like a KA24 out of like a standard 240 motor. And so it has KA lines, manifold, and downpipe, which is really cool. So I could sell that stuff and get my money back because he didn't add much extra to add that random KA stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the shop and figure it out. So this whole thing I got, like I said, it was a KAT setup, and I'm really, really happy with this purchase. It's stupid clean. I don't even know how it's so clean. There's zero shaft play. This was a really good purchase. I'm really excited about it. So this is a sick deal. So I'm taking this apart now so I can get the turbo off. All right, comment below if you know what's wrong with this. All right, welcome back to the future. So let's talk about the turbo real quick. So this is my old turbo. It's a T25 stock SR20 turbo. Then this is my new turbo, the nice OEM Plus, which is a T28 OEM SR turbo. This happened to come on S14 SRs, and this came on S13 SRs. They're both journal bearing turbos. They're very, very similar. The main difference is the compressor on the T28 is slightly larger, and so is the housing. And essentially, it's just capable of a little bit more boost, safer. So it's just an OEM affordable upgrade for SR20s. A lot of guys love them. So I'm excited to be able to get that for a really good deal. Seems like the inlet and outlet from the T25 fit differently on the T28. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that all to sit right, but we'll do that down the road. Yeah, so I'm gonna start the day off. We're gonna go box up the parts, bring in the Logan Steel, and get some wire brushes, and we'll go to town on the engine and get this thing looking brand new. Got the parts, going down to the powder coat booth, about to drop them off. Logan, you know, they're an all-service type of company. Mike's carrying them for me.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
See, look at this.
I think we'll do a nice job for Jimmy's parts here. Oh! We have Tommy down here on Friday. I guess Jimmy's volunteering to do all the work on his vehicle. We got some pipes down here.
Oh boy, they're busy today. So as you guys know, the guys here at Logan Steel always hook me up so heavy. I dropped off all my engine brackets and stuff to get powder coated black just so they look great for a long time. So they're gonna bang those out, even though they're super packed, they're gonna bang those out very fast for me. So I'm really excited, get that back on the engine, get the engine together and get the engine in. So hell yeah, thank you guys again at Logan Steel. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Make sure you go check them out. I'll put their Instagram in the description and see what they can offer for you. So now I'm gonna go to the store, get some wire brushes, and we'll get this engine looking new. Let's do it. All right, so I got the steel brushes. This will get like, you know, the really deep oxidation out, and then the brass ones will kind of just shine it up a little bit. So it's not that bad, but while it's out and empty, you might as well do it. It's only gonna take an hour or two, and we'll make this thing look almost brand new. So it's definitely worth it. Let's get to scrubbing. All right, it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better. Even though it might not look like it, that took me quite a long time, but I'm super happy how that looks. Looks mint to me. There's still a little few specks here and there, but can live with it. So this was the easy side. Now we have to do the rest of the motor. The front didn't clean up as nice as the side, but I still think it cleaned up very, very well. It's looking pretty clean though. So at this point in the video, there's probably quite a few of you that already commented why I just don't paint the damn thing silver. Yeah, it might be a little bit easier, but honestly, I've done it before. I don't really like how it looks. It looks really good for probably a couple weeks, and after a while, it starts to look like ass. So just keeping it bare aluminum, just cleaning it up is my favorite option. Engine's clean. Thank you for trooping through that. But so I was kind of expecting my engine mount to show up any day now, and yesterday I found out that UPS actually returned them to the sender. I don't know if the address was screwed up or something, but he resent it out yesterday. So now I probably won't have the mounts until Saturday, but that's okay because I bought intake manifold for this thing. I got a stupid good deal on it, so that's gonna come in Saturday too, and hopefully we can have this all together for Saturday, drop it in Sunday. It will go from there. That's my aim. The engine's all cleaned up. I have to finish my transmission. The thing that I was able to manage yesterday was to get the transmission together. Now, I didn't fully finish it, but I was able to get the bell housing on, so I'm gonna show you that right now. So, I spent a long time cleaning this whole thing out, fully degreasing the whole thing in and out, making sure the whole inside is perfectly clean. Made sure all the old RTV is off, the surface is nice and clean on both the bell housing and the tranny. So unfortunately, there's no clean gasket for this. They come from the gasket RTV, so we're gonna have to lay a nice bead of RTV on it, slip it on, let it sit, and we can tighten it up a little bit later. This is kind of the best rig I could set up. I really hope that doesn't fall. It seems sturdy enough. I guess we'll find out. The bell housing back on. Now I'm gonna put the bolts in finger tight, let the RTV cure for about an hour, and I'm gonna torque it down to spec. All right, let's just clean this faceplate off real quick. Good enough. Now there's a seal stuffed away right here inside, and we're gonna replace this. I don't think it really leaked before, but it's some good preventative maintenance. The C-clips go back on it before the cover goes back on it. All right, so next is gonna add on the throw bearing release slider, whatever you wanna call it. So I actually pulled those off my SR trans, it's the exact same thing. I also just put a new throw bearing on it. The one that was actually on the old SR trans is actually in pretty good condition. The Z32 trans, the downfall of it is the clutch fork. Now the clutch fork, I don't have it, didn't come with it. It's this flimsy piece of stamped steel, and they wear out over time, and you get a really soft clutch pedal feel because it flexes and it feels like crap. So the big upgrade for it, if I can find it, is to use a 350Z Z33 clutch fork. And as you can see, this thing's thick. It's like a solid piece of aluminum, and this is definitely not gonna flex. So we're doing the Z33 clutch fork upgrade. With that, we need a new pivot ball for the transmission and a new clip for that. So I have all that right here. This is all OEM Nissan stuff. It all fits. Here's a new pivot ball, which literally pivots inside there. I got a new dust boot for the trans, which goes in the little square hole right there. And then the factory retainers are somewhere. This piece is the pivot ball. Now I just put some Loctite on it. I don't think it needs it, but precautionary, I'm gonna do it anyways. And it threads right in. Got that freshy dust shield right here. Have the whole thing clipped together. We got the retainer clip for the slider, the retainer clip for the pivot ball, and I think I have this correct. So it's gonna, you know, push the throw it in and out, hopefully. So this is, as you can see, the Z33. It's heavy, but it's gonna work. Make sure to put some grease inside the little slider. I could probably put a little bit more. I'm gonna grease up the shaft also, just a little bit. Alright, well that dust boot is a tight fit on the Z33 fork. They say it will work. I'll trust them. And just like that, the transmission is done and ready to go. Everything's all set, I'm stoked. Today we just took some elbow grease to get everything together, but the trans is now set and the SR is ready to be assembled once I get the parts. So we did make good progress today, and I'm very happy. Mike down at Logan Steel actually sent me a picture. Mike from Logan Steel actually sent me a picture, and the parts are already sandblasted, which is fantastic, if you can see it. So those guys work so fast, so I'm super excited. So hopefully there's a pattern tomorrow, pick them up, get the SR back together with all the accessories, and then just wait for the manifolds. You guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you tomorrow.